You're watching Moms Matter. I'm your host, Shirini Yadagar. And joining us in the studio today is Alex at Duke, who is a rising senior at Duke University and is also a campus fellow at End Jew Hatred. You are a rock star. You really are a rock star. And I am so happy that you're here in the studio because you're inspiring the next generation by doing so much great work on campus. Thank you, Alex.
Really, thank you. And thank you for having me. I know we talk a lot about your own daughter, who's truly a rock star, but it's in teamwork to do what we're doing. And it's incredible to be a part of this community.
Yeah. First of all, how are you? Truly, how are you? As a college student, how are you surviving?
It's a complex question, honestly, because being a Jewish student, being a pro-Israel Zionist student on college campuses is incredibly challenging right now in many ways, especially doing it publicly. I will say I'm very lucky that at Duke, my campus has been relatively calmer compared to other schools. I have friends all over the country, Columbia, USC, UCSB, everywhere, where it's become really a nightmare in many ways. So seeing that and speaking to people on the daily truly is just crazy to even witness how backwards the entire world has become. And even at Duke, where my campus has been quieter, it's been hard. Just even talking to people on the daily and trying to show them a little bit of humanity while we're defending our very own existence, that shouldn't even be an issue to begin with. And yet it's become such a politicized issue to stand with Israel, but to stand with the Jewish community and Jewish students on college campuses. So it has been hard. I'm lucky again that I'm at Duke and our Jewish community has been incredibly strong. And I think we've really only gotten closer and more united throughout, especially the past 7 months. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And it's all about just, again, remaining united and trying to spread the positive energy, spread the passion, and in our case, set an example for a lot of other college campuses while still trying to enjoy your time as a student. These are the years we're never going to get back.
That's right. That's right. And you only have 1 year left, but your 3 years at Duke, you've done some incredible things. Tell us about what you do as a campus fellow for End Jew Hatred and how you've been able to raise awareness on campus.
For sure. So the End Jew Hatred Campus Fellowship really has been an amazing, amazing initiative that I got involved with. And just for a little bit more context, End Jew Hatred is a grassroots civil rights movement for the Jewish people. It is solely focused on protecting Jewish rights. I know you spoke with Brooke, and she was discussing how never before has there been a civil rights movement just for Jewish rights. So now that they have that, I think it's such a smart idea that they started a campus fellowship. And essentially what the vision is to have students at campuses all over the country being essentially representatives for End Jew Hatred and for the movement. So as a fellow at Duke, I use my position as an End Jew Hatred fellow, first of all, to organize things on the ground, so rallies and events, and also to really engage and use the skills that End Jew Hatred has equipped me with to engage in civil discourse and conversations, both with students and at the administrative level, which I think has been a very, very big difference and part of the reason why our campus has remained as amazing as it has been. I'm hoping that it stays that way, but really we've done a lot of great things. And of course, I could go into some examples of certain events that we've hosted or certain initiatives we've done, but it's been really nice being involved in this community and also being able to be in touch with the fellows at other campuses and bounce ideas off of each other to just continue inspiring each other to keep up the good fight.
I mean, that's amazing to think that because of these conversations that you've had with administration, you think that that's a reason why your campus maybe has been quieter because of this fellowship and because of how you've learned the tactics of how to, have discourse with others on campus. Do you think that that's made a difference?
I definitely think it's made a difference. And I'll give you an example. So a few months ago, there's a bridge that campus and West Campus. So it's very central. Everyone passes by it all the time. Known by a lot in the community as a free expression bridge because students and community members, it's really open to everyone, but they're able to do graffiti on the walls and express themselves. And of course, freedom of speech, freedom of expression are two integral values to not only a college campus, but to America and the world at large. And it's very important to uphold these values. So they have the free expression bridge and it's nice. People could do art. But what we've seen, especially over the past 7 months since the outbreak of the war in Israel and Gaza, is that students, especially anti-Semitic students, have also been using the bridge as a place to instead put hateful rhetoric about the Jewish people and about Israel. So for instance, a few months ago, people put graffiti all over the walls, such as "From the River to the Sea," and a few other slogans cursing Israel and the Jewish people. And what we did on our side instead was, as an End Jew Hatred fellow, I mobilized about 10 students to come with me to the bridge and merely paint over what they had done with 3 words, "End Jew Hatred," in big. And not only did this get a lot of positive attention on social media and definitely inspired people, I think, at other schools to do similar things, because it's, again, very peaceful, just expressing ourselves and showing that this is Jew hatred and we want to fight against that. But in addition, the university's administration actually sent out an email that went to the entire student body saying that "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" is a prohibited slogan to be used on campus, and that rhetoric like this, which clearly targets Israel and the Jewish people, is not allowed and is not respected and is not welcomed in our campus community. So I think that was huge.
Wow.
And I think it also just speaks to the broader issue of what we've been seeing on so many campuses, especially over the past few weeks, with protests that have turned violent and encampments and students being personally, physically targeted and harassed, is that, yes, what we're seeing now is completely backwards and out of control in many cases, warranting law enforcement to come in. But it also happens because of an escalation that started with things such as what happened on our campus with the bridge. That's just one example that I'm giving. So even by monitoring the small things that occur on our campus and trying to work with administration to ensure that these things cannot continue occurring, I think that's what's preventing, in large part, an escalation from really taking place.
Wow, Alex. I mean, you are absolutely right. The fact that you did that and the fact that you were in discussions with your admin, all because of this fellowship through End Jew Hatred, there hasn't been escalation on your campus. And if only we could see that modeled throughout the country, maybe we could have completely prevented all of these encampments and all of this violence from happening. I mean, it's astounding to me. Tell me kind of some tactics that you use through this fellowship, like the types of conversations that you're able to have now that maybe you couldn't have before.
Totally. I think one of the biggest things that we talk about all the time in the fellowship, and I discuss with other campus fellows, is really the value of civil discourse and remaining diplomatic in our conversations with others and trying to show that it is possible to hold multiple values at once. For instance, one of the biggest things that I've encountered on college campuses is that a lot of students and a lot of faculty and people in the community will automatically see Jewish students as oppressors and use that kind of terminology,
right,
because they cannot acknowledge or don't know enough to acknowledge that you can support Jews and you could support Israel and you could support the Jewish people's right to self-determine in our ancestral homeland while also upholding the values of human rights and social justice and, for instance, Palestinian human rights, all of which I'm an advocate for as well. But automatically, because I'm Jewish and because I support Israel, people oftentimes will automatically throw everything else to the side and just see me as an oppressor or a white colonialist, which is funny because my family actually is from Iran and had to flee because of the Islamic Revolution. So that's ironic in itself.
Right.
But again, I think just trying to teach people and open their eyes a little bit to see that issues are much more multi-layered than what they're making it seem, and it's not black and white at all, while remaining diplomatic and while trying to invite students of other backgrounds to have just an open conversation as opposed to just yelling at each other,
right,
because that's not going to get us anywhere.
No,
and I've
it's not.
experienced both.
You're so eloquent and you're so right and truthful in everything you're saying. And the world needs to hear what you're saying because it's so spot on. We can completely prevent all of this turmoil if we just have this civil discourse. And I'm hoping that we can move forward in that space. Hopefully people can start to calm down and see, Jews and Zionists as human beings so they can sit and have those conversations. I know that a lot of parents of children who are now about to enter their freshman year in universities are very nervous. Students themselves are nervous. They're not quite sure where they can find belonging as Jewish students. What's your advice to them? If you can look into that camera, what is your advice to those students coming in as freshmen to universities this year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, to all the incoming students, it's incredibly exciting. And college, despite everything that's happening right now, really is the best time of your life. And I'm honestly envious that you have so many years ahead of you. But I guess on a more serious note, Yes, the reality of what's happening with Jewish students on college campuses right now is frightening in many ways. But I guess my two main messages are one, getting involved in initiatives such as the End Jew Hatred Fellowship will allow you to become part of a broader community. It will also give you many skills to engage with people of all different backgrounds. Something else that's super important, actually, that I wanted to mention is that through the fellowship, we've also been able to collaborate, for instance, with Christian organizations and other groups that simply want to share in our mission of ending Jew hatred and protecting the civil rights of Jewish students, because that's what it's all about. It's not a political issue. You don't even have to be Jewish to support us. It just is a statement that you also want to help fight against Jew hatred and that the Jewish people deserve civil rights protections just as any other minority does. So collaboration with other communities has been amazing. And I really think that the fellowship has been such a great way to get involved in proactive programming and making sure that our college campuses remain a safe and welcoming place for Jewish students. And then I guess the second thing is, again, it may seem frightening, and it is in many cases, but we're all here for each other. And if there's something I've really learned as a Jewish student, especially over the past 7 months, it's that while our community might be very small, we represent a very small proportion of the population, we're mighty and we're passionate and we're empowered. So we're all here to help each other. And I look forward really to meeting all of the new college students and working together to continue fighting the good fight.
I mean, I get like chills listening to you because I have hope that the future is going to get better because of students like you, Alex, who are truly working from your heart space and doing good things and really trying to end hate Jew and Jew hatred and racism, bridge gaps. I mean, you're doing such important work and you're a beautiful light. And I really hope that when you go back to campus, things will be better and things will be better for all Jewish students all around the country.
I really hope so too. And for now, all we have to continue doing is, again, remaining empowered and staying strong and united.
Amazing, amazing. Continue to fight the good fight. You really make your mom proud. You make me proud. You make all mamas proud. You're doing great work. And you saw it right here on Moms Matter. And we'll leave all the links below. So if your children are interested in getting involved in this initiative, we can help you out. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next time.